Hello and welcome. Yes, you see this right. This is a new video, a new Wingspan gameplay video. Actually a tournament video after a 3-month break in which I had to do things like work and private stuff and things that you cannot postpone. So, great that you're watching. Great to be back. This tournament is the Brambling Blowouts, the tournament with a B. And the special thing about this tournament is that it's a huge tournament in terms of matches that are being played. And the organizers have done this with the intent to collect data with regard to the house rules. So as you might recall, on this tournament Discord, there were usually these house rules that you may play the Ravens, Killdeer and Franklin Skull only at the beginning of round 2 and not earlier. And for this tournament, this rule is void. So there is no special rules, it's just Wingspan as intended by the rulebook. And it's also not for ELO, it's just you collect points and you can win this tournament, of course, but basically, you're playing a league-style system, earn points for a leaderboard, and fill a survey to help the organizers and busy bees of the Discord server to determine whether the house rules need to be changed. So I've done 18 games already in this tournament, and this is going to be the first game in the second stage, which will again be 18 games. And so far I've been very happy with this mode, and I think I lean towards that we don't need any house rules anymore, but we'll see what this brings. So, opponent goes first, and this is our opening hand. We have the Laughing Kookaburra, which is a great bird, because it can live everywhere, and it very reliably generates food. This being a bird of prey ability, by the way, which is a bit random, but I mean, birds of prey do this for the food after all, so flavor-wise it's maybe also reasonable. We have the cuckoo, which is an interesting nest parasite bird, but the problem is it only lays eggs on other birds with wingspan less than 30 centimeters, and as you can see, we only have Cassin's finch, and that's 1 centimeter too big. So the question is, do we want that? Or do you simply keep the Kookaburra and start digging for cards? That would be the old Wingspan, the pre-Oceania Wingspan style. But the new Wingspan with Oceania is all about the nectar, and it's very vital to have forest birds to have some access to nectar. So I still want the Laughing Kookaburra outside of the forest, I think, because generating food outside of the forest is still a nice up. Also, there is no card-drawing bird that I would want to play otherwise. I might simply keep the Cassin's finch to have something for the forest. We could also keep the cuckoo. We could discard that for some extra value if you wanted. Let's take a look at the bonus cards again. So only grassland birds or coffee cup birds. That would be a coffee cup bird. No mono grassland, but the grassland thingy is usually easier to fill. I think I'll just keep the 3 cheap birds. Don't keep the 3 expensive ones. And be happy to play the Cassin's finch as my first bird. To grab some nectar, question mark. Is there nectar? Yes, there is. And I would assume that our opponent goes for the chipping sparrow, which is in the tray, because forest bird that lays eggs is fantastic, because forest is important in Oceania. Laying eggs has been nerfed, so as expected my opponent grabs the chipping sparrow, which is a very strong one. So remaining in the tray there are, let's look at it this way, Brawlgar, which gives eggs to the opponent and 2 cards to us, converts food into cards, and the draft bird. Nothing too exciting, so I'll just leave them where they are and spend this food, which I cannot use for my other birds. Oh, that's a very nice bonus card. 3 more birds for 8 points. That would be great. So I hope that my opponent is going to play the chipping sparrow and leave the nectar untouched. Then I can grab those for future value. Yes, as expected. One word about the kookaburra. Of course, it's the re-rolling, the resetting of the bird feeder is an interesting ability as well. So if we put that in the forest, it's also not totally useless. Although it might seem like a waste to play such a flexible food-gaining bird in the forest. But re-rolling the bird feeder when it looks like this, when there is no nectar, is actually quite valuable. Then we pick the nectar for a basic ability, and then... Ah, no, wait, that doesn't work. Never, don't mind me, I just talked bullshit. This would work if we could pick food after this ability, but we would need to play a food grab a bird first. Then, since I've now confused myself enough into sticking to my original plan and playing kookaburra in the wetlands. As of now, I don't have a clue how to solve my egg problem, but we only can find... We can only find solutions for this problem if we dig for cards, so we're going to do that. In case my voice falters, this is due to a cold that has been lingering around for too many weeks now. So, if you're seeing this video, that probably means that it worked until the end, because otherwise I wouldn't upload it if it wasn't complete. So, rest assured. You will see the rest of this video if you're seeing it now. Alright, so our opponent has done gain food 2 times now, which is good for them. So this doesn't help. Probably this doesn't help me at all, because they're doing a lot of egg laying in the forest. So I don't think I need any of these birds. Don't want to give my opponent eggs. I don't have a huge food surplus for this ability. And I'm not a big fan of the oyster catcher, so just draw 2 random cards and get myself a grub. Hummingbird is actually quite nice. So the end of round goal is action cubes on play a bird, by the way. So luckily we have tons of very inexpensive birds. So it would, with our resources, be possible to play all of them, actually. So I think I'm happy to play the hummingbird in the grassland, actually. It's also cup nest bird. Yeah, that's fine. It also produces berries. Our bonus card suggests that we need berries at some point, so let's go for that. I would like to play Savise Warbler as well, although at the moment I don't want to have more wetlands birds than my opponent, because then they would draw cards exclusively, and I would like it to that not happen. Grey Shrike Thrush, oh, that's also a good bird. It doesn't matter for any round goal where the eggs go, so let's just do that. Opponent has a tendency to have more food than me, so it probably doesn't hurt if I give food to everyone. Now with Hummingbird I would have target for the cuckoo, which would mean that it did actually matter where I put the eggs, and this was definitely wrong. But I can remove one egg when I play this. If I play this. I'm still not sure if this is a good idea, because my opponent doesn't show any signs of interest in the grasslands. I just realized that this can... I tacitly assumed that this is a grasslands bird, but it can live anywhere. I could play it in the forest, because having the option to discard surplus cards is kind of nice. Well, I think I go for it. As I said, I want to play the wetlands bird as late as possible. Which would be with my last action. Then I can use it on my first action in round 2 to draw 2 extra cards. I think that's fine. I'm not going to stall this any longer. So for this, our opponent has 1 bird in the right direction. I have 2. Cool, medicystic. Ah, haha. Opponent starts showing signs of grassland interest. Fortunately, these are 5 birds, but only 4 cubes, and I can get to my 5th. So I'll happily grab this round goal. Yoink. So we have purple martin, turkey vulture, and grey butcherbird. All of them are great in a way. So opponent has this Shrike Thrush, which does hit kind of reliably, so the vulture would be worthwhile possibly. Purple martin is just a very good bird. I don't think I urgently need the butcher bird. It's a fine bird. It has the cup nest, but I don't think that it's very central to my game plan, so I'll take these 2. Also, I'll happily give another bird of prey to my opponent when I take the vulture. Do I want to play this? Is there any reason? I mean, it looks in the right direction, but apart from that, I think I'd just go for grab. So the question is, what is my long-term plan to generate points? On the old Wingspan board, it usually was develop a full tuck engine in the wetlands or fill your grasslands so you can win via egg points towards the end, but egg laying is much worse in the Oceania expansion due to the board nerf. And simply playing many birds which are worth a lot of points has become a much more viable strategy. And the white stork has now appeared in the tray, which is something that we definitely want to grab, and with white stork and purple martin we could indeed develop a very powerful grassland. I think that is the way that we should go. So let's pick the stork and a random one that converts wheat into eggs. It's probably not what we're looking for. Sparrowhawk, buzzard, European birds of prey. We actually do need a fish. Let's grab that. If the nectar remains, we will go for a little raid. Could even imagine playing a buzzard on the warbler for the round goal, since we're probably not going to draw that many cards. Oh, Wille Wagtail, one of my favorite birds. Draws cards in the forest. Yes. So let's do the little nectar raid. Discard a card. Yeah, we are definitely not going to use this. Pretty sure. Although there are probably birds that are more useless. I mean, the canvasback has a star nest, but I'm not going to play that for that. It's just bad. So, nectar raid was successful. Only 1 nectar for our opponent. And do you look in the right direction? No, you don't. You do. Yeah, I'll have to lay eggs. That's my next action. That's a nice bird for me, actually. Cup nest and berry eater. But wait. Let's place the eggs on large birds that our cuckoo could not feed. It's a bird that would be really useful, but I don't think I want to waste that card drawing action at this point. I will play the Stork and the Martin, and if the grosbeak remains, I will draw it, but it's also a pretty replaceable bird. So 3 food, 6-point birds with cup nest that eat berries are actually quite frequent. It's probable that we find an alternative. I don't know if they are actually frequent, but it feels like that this type of bird is something that you see more often during a game. Some are called tenagas. I would also take a hermit thrush or a oriole or whatever. Cerulean warmer. So I want the white stork and then the what is it called? Purple martin. To the right of the stork, so that I could go for drawing a target card via tucking and then using the white stork's ability. Laundry machine entering hyperspace. I'll mute myself while that happens. So opponent grabs food, and that's unfortunate because in this way they pick the cup nest bird with the wagtail. That's unfortunate, but yeah, we cannot really do anything about it. I knew that this would happen, and I intended to do it like this. Next level hyperspace. Kind of forgot that I turned this on. Okay, to give the truth some credit, I only realized very recently that I would play Wingspan game and record it. If you had asked me 10 minutes before the start of this game, I wouldn't have known anything about this. So, Grey Butcher Bird, there it is. Opponent is now 2 ahead for the round goal. This means that there is no reason for us to play the common buzzard. And we will want to play the turkey vulture at some point. And for the time being, we just want to lay eggs. Do I want to get rid of cards? I do have a lot of slots to fill, right? And I don't want to play this dove. I probably don't want to play any of these birds of prey, so I can just discard both of them. Or tuck one. I also don't think that I need any of those. Oh, Hermit Thrush. We were talking about you. That's actually a good bird, because my opponent has more birds than me in the forest, and that's looks like Money then is going to use this forest and maybe even play a fifth one, so I'll happily take that. The laundromat seems to have left the hyperspace region. I might want to play the red-tailed hawk as my fourth grasslands bird. Oh, is there a Bonelli's eagle? Well, that kind of sucks. But I mean, at least on the positive side, my opponent has the chaffinch, which ironically is interested in the same prey as the Bonelli's eagle. So it's maybe survivable. And we have a lot of nectar left. Do we want that? Do we want that now? If we want to play this, then we probably do. Where will our turkey vulture go, and when will it go where? It doesn't want to go to the wetlands because we want to pressure our opponent to not play any further or give up the value of the loon, although they have other means of drawing cards. So the alternative, I mean, the bird feeder is very tempting, but I think it's not that urgent. I think I can play this one first. Or maybe the vulture, that we have a potential extra trigger. Yeah, maybe we want to play the vulture first, actually. Break. Because if they go for the forest now, which is not unlikely, they maybe trigger their Shrike Thrush? Man, who said that German words are hard to pronounce? Shrike Thrush? Oh, that's a tongue twister. And so our bird feeder got destroyed. But immediate reward for the vulture. And this means that we can play the hermit thrush. Another thrush. Very fricative. And then we have a pretty decent food gaining ability. We're ahead 1 for the round goal. Birds in our hand don't do shit for this objective. We might want to pick up the red start. No, we cannot. Opponent is going for food, and the wagtail is going to grab the red start, I think. Yay! Nectar for us. So, what are we going to do? We only have 1 egg left, so we probably just go for laying eggs and try to find something interesting. I think I can discard a berry. And Probably I can also discard the fish. Just... Then we took the Kestrel and grab random card. Just not that interesting. Great Egret. Don't need any of the others, so Great Egret might be something for the later game. So as you can see, different from the original game, laying eggs with only 3 birds in the grassland kind of sucks because you only get 2 and you have to invest to get more. Which means I have certain pressure to get at least the 4th, maybe the 5th bird down to make this action worthwhile. So, now they have overtaken because they have actually played the grosbeak. Alright. I'll want to get some food. Grab this, reset. Grab this, question mark. We'll be able to get rid of this. I want to do this. I want to... If I grab this nectar, I can simply play Hawk and Pipit. I think that would be an okayish line. In the worst case, I'll lose one of the nectar, but yeah, maybe that was not good. With the last round goal being food and personal supply, maybe should have done it differently. So I expect some resetting of the tray. And the Wille Wagtail failed this time. I get another thingy. New birds in the tray are kind of irrelevant. For the round goal at least. So opponent has 1 action left. Plenty of food, so they are probably going to play another bird that renders my Pipit play for the round goal useless. So I could go for egg laying now in order to find a bird that lets me compete with the round goal. But I think this is too not very probable to actually find stuff. But if I don't do it now, I will never have the chance again to win this round goal. Still, I somehow misjudged my nectar gaining, so it's actually fine to fill this a little bit. Another problem being I would need to get rid of one of these. I mean, the hawk is not super relevant, we can discard this. And try our luck. Oh, that's actually a good one. These birds would also add 1 pip, so I don't really have the setup for white-throat or Martoni's warbler, so I'm just going to pick that bush tit. Probably I'll just play bush tit and sparrow then and just lay eggs 4 times towards the end of the game. That should generate a ton of points. On every subsequent action I can use the white stork's ability to fuel the bush tit. The martin is just somewhere in the middle. Next hyperspace action. So, returning in Northern Shoveler. Yeah, that's 2 more pips for them, so as expected that doesn't get us anywhere. Give me that bush tit here. And I think so far our opponent has not laid eggs at all. Rosella and red-winged blackbird, but we cannot use the blackbird. And also it's a bit late, so let's just stick to the original plan. Play Baird Sparrow, leave the laundromat in hyperspace. It has landed. So, opponent is doing, question mark, gain food. Oh, laying eggs. It's happening. And a hummingbird gets something. They've laid eggs. I'll do the same. I'll get rid of these. So, I don't think I'm going to play any more birds. If I play any bird, then it will be a cup nest bird, because that would be 3 extra points, and I'm not going to play any of those. Doesn't matter. I think the berries are fine. Cup nest berry eater, but still. 3 actions. I produce 6 eggs every time, that would be 18. So I cannot fully use my stock. So I could actually play 1 bird. Bullfinch would be a candidate. Let's pick a wheat. The vanilla eagle. So that's also too big for the cuckoo. Not going to play this. Not going to play this. Maybe going to play this. This would be the only one that we can actually play, but is also hugely irrelevant. Then just pick something that could maybe do something for our opponent. So I guess it's just laying eggs one more time. See if we find any bird that's more interesting than the bullfinch. So how many points would this generate? Not too many actually. It's 6 minus 2. It's 4-point play. It's not at all impressive. What would be the second laying eggs point-wise? So if I lay eggs now, I'm at 24, which would mean the next laying eggs would generate 3 points and 2 tucks. That would be 5. That would be more than the bullfinch. If my opponent is going to lay eggs once more, then of course it's 1 point less, so it's kind of balanced. The interesting question is I have to decide beforehand whether to tuck the bullfinch and try something better. Is my opponent going to lay eggs? That's another question. I would think so, because they have food to spend, they are not really in any risk to lose this. It's not necessary to play the bullfinch, I think. It's just not necessary. Let's try to find something better. That doesn't have any space, unfortunately. We could play American Crow if we want. Could also play this, because that's actually 5 points, right? That's actually more points. Seems stupid, but it's worth more points. Probably not going to do this in any case, but... Fish crow. That would be... So, even if we get opponent is getting food. This could mean that they are planning to play another bird, or they simply want to be very sure that they win the round goal. So playing the Warbler would be net 4 points with the bonus card and the egg cost. And laying egg would be 1 more point. If our opponent is going to lay eggs, then this is nullified. But I think that's fine. Yes, that would have been a nice one in an earlier point of the game. It's one of the very rare games in Oceania where I fill all my egg slots. Not entirely perfect management here. Yeah, well, we lost this, so it didn't matter in the end. It's not my best game. I lose many points on the nectar board and on the round goals. My bonus cards are not very good. I think this is not a victory, and if it is, it's very close. But I feel behind. Opponent had a very good play. Oh yeah, 20 points ahead on birds. I'm not going to catch up in any direction. It's not going to be close. It will be a massive defeat around here, I think. Nothing to win for me. Absolutely nothing. Well, what went wrong? So my game wasn't too bad. I did some micromanagement mistakes, but this was maybe 5 points in total. That wouldn't have won it. Opponent got Chipping Sparrow, a massive Shrike Thrush, and Wille Wagtail. Yeah, this was just a very strong forest. And I'm happy to see the effect of a very strong forest, and I really liked the Oceania expansion about this. Although in this game it really defeated us. And also in the survey the eagles are not included, although I often feel that they're very relevant. In this game this was not relevant. It's just my opponent won even more with the Bonelli Seagull than they would have in any case. Alrighty. Maybe I could have won this game if I picked the Grosbeak. That's an interesting line to say, but if I had this bird, I would have the chance to fill both of my bonus cards. And maybe. But I think overall there was just not much to win here. Well, thank you for watching, and hope to see you again in a hopefully more successful future game in this tournament. And since my laundromat machine is entering hyperspace yet again, it's time to finish recording. See you.